Lisa is a partner and senior payments analyst at MoffettNathanson Research. I know it's early to ask you, Lisa. It's just been a couple of hours, but is John right here about the opportunity? And is Stripe's IPO now a sure thing? I mean, they could have done this a long time ago.
Well, we certainly hope Stripe's IPO is coming soon. That's certainly, been one of the hotly anticipated IPOs in payments now for a couple of years. And I guess the latest view is perhaps early in 22 that might be coming. But no question, this ruling, while understandably it's kind of viewed as maybe baby steps by Epic, is a positive step for the payments ecosystem, who have for a long time been frustrated by the closed aspect of Apple's ecosystem, particularly positive for PayPal. That's the player that has been effectively blocked out in many ways of the Apple ecosystem because Apple restricts access to other payment methods over their platform. So this is most directly a boost for PayPal, who will be hoping to kind of, draft behind this ruling and hopefully have it, kind of transition into even more steps where Apple needs to open up aspects of their platform to third-party payment providers.
And let's take a step back here, because for the payment space, you have this brilliant note from just pointing out with the acquisition that we saw between Square and Afterpay 3 weeks ago, that you expected to see a huge amount of deal making in the payment space. Of course, then we saw Amazon go after Affirm, the big buy now, pay later candidate. So what consolidation do you now foresee? And has this really all of a sudden now set off what's likely to be a race to consolidate?
We think so. It's still a bit of a domino effect where things went quiet just as they did across many industries during the pandemic. And then now coming out of it, all these players, with all of the dramatic shift into digital payments that was triggered by the pandemic, are moving quickly to strategically position themselves. So Square's acquisition of Afterpay is one big step. We do expect to see further consolidation amongst the buy now, pay later players, the big ones, of course, being Affirm, Klarna, Sezzle, et cetera, who are better off as part of larger platforms than trying to go it alone. But then we think that we could also see that triggering consolidation in other areas. For example, potentially some of the hot mobile alternatives to Square. So this would be players like Toast or Upserve. There's a number of smaller, Shift4 Payments is another one. There's a number of smaller players in the mobile point of sale system, those integrated, cute white point of sale systems that we think could also be targets of consolidation.
And final question, where does this all leave the current giants, the Visas, the Mastercards?
So far, so good. I mean, they're like Switzerland, right? As long as ultimately on the back end, everything is funded with a card, which by and large it is, and more cash keeps getting displaced, Visa, Mastercard, American Express continue to be those back end rails, the back end plumbing that really win. But that said, with this amount of innovation and disruption, we are watching, of course, very closely just whether or not there will be some, so far so good, but whether or not there'll be some commoditization issues or potentially some substitute ways of paying that could creep into the system. In any period of disruption like this, you're going to be watching very closely, but so far so good for Visa and Mastercard. And keep in mind, they continue to be two of our top picks because they are huge recovery plays on the still pending recovery in travel and international travel.
Cross-border payments. I hear a creeping note of caution in your voice there, though, Lisa. I'm not, I can't dismiss it.